YouTube? My name is Anand. I'm with the Parametrics Trading Group, and today we're talking about virtual currency. And I got an email the other day asking to cover how to value a cryptocurrency coin. And so I wanted to go over that today. I wanted to cover the methodology that we're using over here at Parametrics to be able to define value in vetting crypto coins and to distinguish between which ones are low value and which ones are high value. And so in order to perform due diligence on cryptocurrency, I wanted to do a two-part series. This is the first part, and it's called How to Choose a Winning Crypto Coin. And I want to first off talk about the fact that being able to perform fundamental analysis for cryptocurrency is not going to be easy because of the fact that the space is so new and the crypto coins are not essentially companies yet. They're not corporations and they don't have price to earnings ratios. They don't have a quarterly earnings report that you're going to be able to gauge value on. And the viability of the coin is not based on generating revenue, but rather depends on the participation of the community. So the space is valued in a different method than traditional securities or traditional financial instruments like stocks or options or bonds. And that methodology is what I want to be able to cover today. And so some of the factors that are involved in being able to properly value a coin is going to be the miners that are securing the network and the developers who are on the project and the number of users that are using the service provided by the coin. So since the crypto space is in an early stage, and most of these coins are in development stages, it's going to be difficult to be able to give a value rating to that coin. But I have come up with the 6 or 7 metrics that we're using to be able to vet the 80% of coins that really don't have any type of business model or solid technology behind it or team, from the 20% that may be viable in the space. And so to perform that due diligence, we want to first simply be able to give the coin a website rating. And your first entry point into accessing information about a coin is to do a review of the website. Is the website sharp? Is it professional? Does it appear like web developers have created it, or does the site seem to be low budget? Does it seem to be slapped together in a coffee shop using Wix? This is really important because this is your first entry point into finding information about the company, and you want to ask yourself, is there an abundance of information on the project, or are there just generic blockchain buzzwords that fill up the site? The team may be focusing on development of the project, but if it doesn't have the awareness to move the branding and marketing in pace with the technical development, then really how can the investors have confidence that they can actually execute the roadmap? So really, if they haven't allocated even a small amount of their budget to their web presence, then why should you as an individual investor invest a larger amount into the coin? So that's one of the first things that I look at is a website and the amount of information that they are making visible, so I can assess whether or not it is a coin that's worth buying into. Okay, so let's move into more important parts of the methodology. The second one is the team and the partnerships. The team really is the most important factor. If you're investing in a coin, you are really investing in the people. Great people create great results. So ask yourself, do they have a solid team, and who are the greatest strengths going to come from? Is the team well balanced enough to execute the roadmap? Are they visible, and are their identities public? If not, then why? Are they a dedicated team of experts who can push the growth of the project to completion in terms of technical development, marketing, support, and communications? Are they full-timers? Are they involved in the project on a full-time basis, and are they committed to seeing the project go all the way through to completion? The other thing that I look at is, are there any known high-profile advisors or key investors that are involved with the currency? What type of partnerships are in place that would give them an advantage over some of the other competing coins that are in the sector? So that's another question that I ask myself. If the coin's got a very strong team and they have partnerships in place that are going to help them get through a lot of the development phases of the roadmap, then it's definitely a plus, and it's one of the factors that I'm looking at. So let's move on here. The other area that I want to look at is utility and usage. What is a project? What is the purpose of the coin? What is a problem that it solves? And here you're looking at what unique problem does it have a unique solution for? And the coin really has to have a strong function. It has to incentivize people to hold a coin, and a coin's utility is strongly correlated with its value. So what unique innovation is a coin built on that pushes the sector forward? Ask yourself, does this coin give power back to the people? Is it in line with the principles of decentralization? If it's structured as decentralized, actually, if you have to be able to distinguish whether it's structured as decentralized or if it's a centralized governance. What sector are they in, and is the sector already saturated with stronger competitors? Another thing to ask is it a platform coin or is it a features coin? Are they a game changer and a leader in the space, or are they a copycat coin? Are they a lower market cap coin that is essentially trying to copycat technology off of a larger cap player? So what are the reasons to invest? And can you outline 5 of them? So in terms of utility and usage, you want to be able to have at least 5 reasons that you can outline that would give you a motivation to buy into the coin. The other factor is scarcity, and scarcity refers to just the finite nature of the coin. In economics, a fixed supply of a certain item would increase its value in the long term, assuming that the demand increases. So this creates scarcity, and if the coin has a limited supply of coins in circulation, then the value of that coin is going to go higher. So coins that have a great utility are going to have a high demand, especially when the coins have limited supply. So that's another thing to be able to, another thing to be looking out for is, do any of the coins have any burns that are planned, during the development of the coin? And when I mention coin burns, I'm referring to the destroying of a portion of the coin supply, which would increase the value of the coin, being that there would now be a lesser supply of coins. Okay, and so let's move on here. The other thing that, actually before I move on to that, I want to also talk about perceived value. You know, coins really only valuable based on what the market perception of that value is. And so a projected value is going to depend on factors that are core to the development of the project. So projects that achieve their milestones that are set out in their white paper and their roadmap, and additionally ones that have collaborations and partnerships in place are going to be able to expand at a greater rate than other coins that don't have that. So let's go ahead and let's move into the other metric that I'm using in order to perform the due diligence, and that's to review the roadmap and the white paper. Does the coin have a roadmap, and does it clearly outline the timeline for the milestone objectives of the project? And so you definitely want to make sure that they have a roadmap and a white paper. And if you're buying into a coin and you're holding long term, you want to make sure that the investment is in alignment with the timeline that the company is moving in terms of development, and that timeline for the roadmap that they're executing. If you are looking into a short-term trade for one of these coins, but yet the company and the coin have a longer-term timeline in terms of the development phase, then you'll be disillusioned in terms of the investment. So you want to make sure that you're in alignment with that timeline. So does the white paper cover the coin specs and explain the project value clearly? I also want to ask, is there a sophisticated marketing plan in place, or is it vague in general? Is it being branded professionally? Do they have a marketing team that's executing a marketing plan, or is the marketing being done by a single individual and just executing a really simple marketing plan over social media? The other thing I want to ask is, what is the economic flow, and how does a token actually work in the marketplace aside from the technical specs? And if the company and the team is outlining this clearly on the website through the roadmap and the white paper, then you have information. You're able to assess whether or not they are far enough along the development phase, and their execution of the technology to be able to make a decision. The other thing I want to ask is, how many acceptance points do they have, or they plan to have, with different companies? The other area I want to look at is the coin profile and the specs. I want to make sure that I have a solid understanding of the actual profile. So this will really go over the numbers of the coin. So how do all the coin specs measure up against the larger cap leaders in the sector? What is the market cap of the coin? And essentially the market cap is basically the price times the circulating supply of the coins that are in the market. So I would look at the market cap in terms of how it relates to the total supply and max supply. And the other thing that I want to look at is, what is the network algo the coin is being built on? 80% of the coins out there right now are on a proof of work platform. It's a proof of work mining, and the move right now in a lot of the different sectors is for these coins to have plans to move over to a proof of stake algorithm and a proof of stake platform. So if it is a POS platform, then what is the distribution model for that? So these are the questions that you want to be asking when you're looking at the coin profile and the specs. I would also be looking at the volume that's being transacted for the coin on different time frames. Right now, institutional volume is not in these coins, so it will be important to look at the volume in terms of lower time frames like the weekly or even a 24-hour period before getting involved. I would be looking at what that volume is. So the last thing I wanted to, the last metric in our methodology in this first part of being able to choose a winning crypto coin is the social media presence and community that the coin has. So here, I want to be able to see how strong is a coin's social media presence, how many visits does the website have, how large is the community on Slack, Reddit, Twitter, and Bitcoin Talk, and is a development team communicating across those platforms on the progress of the project. So the dev team really needs to understand the importance of communicating the project updates across these different platforms. I've seen a lot of coins where you're not getting these updates on a weekly basis, and sometimes you don't hear information about the project for several weeks. So really, there is no excuse to not be transparent, given the fact that there are so many different platforms for them to communicate. So those are the areas that I want to look at as sort of a first level vetting of the crypto coins that you're looking into. And it's a very basic way to be able to vet the 80% of the coins that you don't want to get involved with because of the fact that they don't have a lot of these models in place yet. And they are questionable in terms of their business model. So part 2, I will be going into a deeper topic of how to value a crypto coin, and I'll be talking about some of the formulas that you can use to be able to apply some type of valuation to the crypto coin. So that's all I have for you today. I'll go ahead and post part 2 tomorrow, and I want to thank you for watching. My name is Anand. I'm with the Parametrics Trading Group, and thanks for watching.